Hey, good morning, guys. I'm trying to be real quiet because my family's still sleeping. It's early in the morning. I wanted to start building something else before they woke up, so I'm trying to be a little bit quieter and a little more respectful for them. But we're starting the move-in process. As you can see, I got crap everywhere right now. But today, I'm going to be building this 60-inch workbench to put out here in the garage. It's got casters. So we'll see. It does. We'll see how the quality looks. We ordered this again off Amazon, and we're gonna see how the quality looks. It looks like a pretty simple install, and I'll test it out a little bit when we're done. So let's start taking some parts out and see what we have here. So it looks like this is a vertical. Hopefully this goes together real easily. You would think that somebody would come up with a mechanism where things went together easy. If you watch my closet system with the IKEA pack system, they're getting there because the whole thing just folds right out and snaps essentially into place. And I'm like, people ought to think about these things. That's like, I did one on weed eaters. You know, we've had weed whackers for all this time, and just recently they finally figured out how to actually insert the whole string all the way through and then turn a dial for it to to wind it. All this time we've been having to do this crappy way of winding it, and they finally came up with that. It's like, how come they couldn't figure that out sooner? I guess the good question is, why didn't I figure it out sooner? But that's unfortunate for me. Wow, this is actually pretty neat. Look at this, guys. This is pretty impressive. It looks like a butcher block. I'll bring this up a little closer so you guys can see that. That's a pretty meaty thing. That's about 1 inch thick. This solid wood. It's like metal right behind it. Kind of scared to put that on the, looks like it's got, it's bolted on, but it's loose right there. So we'll have to figure that piece out. But I'm gonna put it over here. Lay it down on this hunk of wood so we can build up this way. Now, this is how much stuff I've already built. You can see I got a whole pile of trash. We're actually going to take and do a bonfire outside, and this is going to become part of the bonfire pit, except for, of course, the plastic will get recycled. But we do have a few like bearded dragons and these big African agama lizards. And because I had left the garages open the other day, they have found their way into here. So I don't know if they're still in there or if they're not in there. But I think when we start cleaning this out this week and starting to put them in the burn, we'll find a big surprise. Now here's something interesting as we start going back over here to look at the build process. I'm gonna back this up a little bit. Is the end of this table actually has plug outlets on it. So it looks like it's got 4 outlets and then 2 USB ports. Well, I didn't realize we got one like that, so that's pretty interesting. All right. I'm going to do something that I just found out I should never do. But they say you should never take your key and use it to open packages. I can't think of any guy I know that doesn't do that. But my father-in-law was doing that and literally snapped one of the tines off his key, and at this point it doesn't work. So these look to be the feet. Looks like they're adjustable so you can get the levels out. And there's another package in here. Let's see what this other package is. Well, it looks like feet too. Oh no, these are, they're these type of locks. That's so much better than screwing something in. If you can use these with wing nuts, I'm a happy camper. But it doesn't look like that's all of them. Because you do have a bag full of hardware with smaller Nuts and bolts. Damn it. I was hoping it didn't have to do that. I was hoping it'd be an easy install. It's still an easy install. I probably have to go to the pool now. Using just a Workbench. And then, well, that's interesting. So we have feet, and now we have casters. So these are great. I love casters. So, especially when they can hold a lot of weight. All right, let's get into this. Let's get into the first step on this bad boy. So it says fasten leg to the oak board. So just give you a heads up, that's an oak board. So we know it's oak now, which is great because I have a bunch of oaks out here. That must have been a big old oak. Oak board like a soft cloth. Line the holes on the legs. We use the MB16 bolts. So what are the MB16 bolts? Man, that's not MB. Let me put my glasses on. That's stupid. It's the M816 bolts, which are E's. Which is E. That's those little bolts. Damn it. Out here. Looks like the very freaking first step. I only get to use the easy stuff. I gotta use the hard stuff. Alright, let's see. Got a small one. I gotta separate them all back out again. Figure out which ones are which. Boy, that's a big old bolt. Those the same size? Small. Small. Looks like each one of these is gonna get big. That's gonna go there. And they give you a lot of washers. You must have to put a washer on each side. So that could be the issue. Alright, putting all my washers on right now. You probably can't see that, so I'll probably fast forward and do this piece. Ends the video. And ended up with 4 additional washers on each one. That's strange. Alright, align the holes of the legs and use these are small ones. There should be 10 of them. 2, 4, 6, 8. Only got 8. That pisses me off. So there should be 10 of these bolts, and I only got 8 of them. So alrighty. I'm running 2 freaking bolts down. That's not good. We'll see how far I can get something. I'm gonna have to go buy new bolts. Somehow, we must go there. Is that how it goes? Doesn't really give you great pictures here. You help if I did it right. So it says it goes through the top of the board. Where does it go? It doesn't make any freaking sense. Must go there. They already got the bolts. That's gotta be right. 10 to 1. Alright, so the bolts that I was missing are already in here. They've already tightened it down. You know what? I think I'm just gonna, I'll be back. I'm gonna go get a drill. This is ridiculous. Alright, so when you guys build this thing and you're looking for the 4 extra screws, they're actually already in the wood block. So you have to unscrew the 4 that are in there. And then make sure you pick a washer up out of the group that you have and re-put it over the top, because even though the bolts are into the wood, they're not through the washer. So make sure you get the washer and put it in there. So I'm gonna run and do all 4 really fast, theory, this is all gonna line up the right way. And it looks like you may have to do a little maneuvering on it. I'm just gonna hand tighten them for right now. I was gonna get a drill, but I figured I'd just get an adjustable wrench. So for those who know, the adjustables just roll in and out. Works nice. This one actually has a measurer on it, so you know exactly how much each bolt is. But it's not like you really need it for this. These aren't really set well, or really hard in there. But it looks like these things tend to slide. I don't know if they're supposed to go in a certain way or not. It doesn't really say. So I took those 2 bolts out. I'm gonna put my 2 washers in. I don't know if those are spaced a certain way or not. All I know is these plugs need to be on the outside. So I put those on the outside. I'll set it back in there. It looks like it's set roughly the same way as the other one. I hope that's right. It doesn't really tell you if the plugs are supposed to be on the left or the right side. It doesn't matter. It does matter. Yeah. Figure it out at that point in time. This looks like it's going to be a simple build. I wonder if it gives you the option to feed or the casters. I'm going with casters. So. Alright, there's that step done. Let's move to the next step. Now I got those legs in. It looks like we're supposed to lock down the rest of it using those E-bolts. So we put the rest of this in, these in place. It doesn't show you how to do that. Great. Wait a second here. I did it wrong. Alright guys, back. Alright. This is what they don't tell you to do in step 1 that you should have done. Is, let me take this bolt out, because it took me a second to look at the stupid drawing again. So, it tells you in step 1 to attach the pegs right to the thing, but when they ship it with this piece already here. They don't tell you you're supposed to take this piece, unbolt it off, then come back in, bolt these down onto here. That's annoying when they don't do shit like that. It really peeves me. It's like then you end up doing a whole step because you're following the stupid directions, and it's not the right thing to do. So, we'll sit here and do it, and now do it the right freaking way. And pardon my French earlier. It's I got this. I did go get I don't want to over tighten these. It always scares me to over tighten bolts, so I just try to get them when they're sort of snugging up. I don't want to put too much torque on them because I just don't know how much they handle. So all this Chinese stuff just cannot handle high torque. It doesn't give you any torque specs, not like a car part or something like that. So you just kind of, I usually do it by feel. Because God forbid you strip it out of there, then the whole thing's trash, you know? So I just get them when they're just feel snug enough. If for some reason it doesn't work very well, I'll go in there and try to torque it once it's all built. But right now, just get them to where they start to get a little resistance, got some stability. Now what it's saying is this goes on somehow. All right. Figured it out. One more thing. So, another reason why you don't torque them down, because you never know if you put them in right. So here's something here. So, if you're building this system, I want you to come over and see. You see these two? Oh man, somehow I may have to adjust this, but hopefully you can see this. So you see there's two holes here. One there, one there. Well, if you look at the other side, those holes are really close together. So, if you look at the back side, they have the same two, they have holes, but they're far apart like the other side. So what that means to me is I need to flip this vertical around. And again, something they don't tell you in the damn instructions. So, I'm telling you, whenever I build something, it's always like this. You always got to bank on the fact you're going to kind of like put the same part on 2 times. You know, once because you follow the instructions and once because you figure out what they don't tell you. And that's why I do these videos, is so y'all can see me screw it up. And then hopefully you won't screw it up yourself when you go to build it. At least you'll see these pointers ahead of time. It'll make this build go in like half the time, maybe quicker than that, because you've only had to build it 1 time versus the 3 times that I'm gonna have to build it. So, you got that. It's nice to have this crescent wrench. I think it's a number 14, because it is metric. So you use a 14 socket. You gotta tighten it down. Tighten it. These things here. You can see the small one, at least I got this part figured out, is going to go on. There's little notches right here. Those wrap around these posts. So we'll put it on like that. Figure that piece out. I wasn't in the directions either, but at least I know what I'm doing there. The other side to go the other way, and you line up those poles. So let's see, it probably tells me what bolts I need to use. Good if I use my glasses. So we want E-bolts, go through the top. So let's get the E-bolts, those are the small ones. So you grab these small ones. They're gonna go through into the wood. So you can put those 6 in there. I'm only gonna lightly screw those in because I'm gonna tighten the verticals first. And then once the verticals are tightened, then I'll come back in and lock this. And the only reason I do the verticals first, it looks like this bottom, this base, I guess you would call it, this thing slides back and forth. And you want it to be locked into the verticals, and then you're gonna tighten it down. Looks like to give some rigidity that you're gonna want. So, oh man, I'm glad I did this early in the morning. That's already hot. It's August in Florida. It's brutal, let me tell you. Anybody thinking of moving down here, I recommend you come visit in August 1st before you make that decision. Because you may change your mind really fast, because it's about as hot as it can get in here. All right, Fs. That's funny. You're supposed to have 8 Fs, and I got 6 Fs. So that is already a problem. They don't ship you enough bolts. Not good. So we'll have to do what I can do here. That's funny. Why did they give me 2 less bolts? I have to go to the store and buy 2 more. That's ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. So, This is why I used to always check my hardware before it came in. Because you never know if you're running too short. Which is exactly what I'm running. I'm running too short. So I'm just going to put one on each one of these, this side. And looks like I'm making a run to hardware store to get the last bolts. I'll probably keep one out and just not install it. So therefore I can go to the store and grab 2 more. Problem is you can match the threads and the length, I just can't match the bolt. So you always have to make something. Oh wait, there's 2 more. It slid out. Yay, I got them all. Oh wait, these are smaller, never mind. Dang it. How are those smaller? It's like it gave me 2 of the other size bolts. That's very interesting. Alright, let me pause this while I try to figure this out. Alright, I figured out the problem. They shipped me 2 extra of the wrong one and 2 less of one, so I am going to the hardware store. So, for these verticals, I'm going to tighten it down. It's a 17 inch. So, let's get these verticals locked in. Again, I just get them snugged up. The first one in, twist that one. Looks like we have to get 2 more of these. Get the back side done, and once I get this done, I'll go ahead and tighten the first sets I put in. That's in. Let's do this one. Alright, and now go back to your 14 and grab the 6 that you had before. I don't know why that's not. Doesn't feel like it's seen well. Man, I don't think he's working down that much. So I'm just getting them. Just get a little resistance on them. Yeah, I might try to torque one down in the middle over here just to see how much torque they can actually take. That takes a little bit more. That takes. Oh, they do get down a little bit harder, so it looks like you can give it a little ass. Alright, let's do that. Give them all a little bit more ass. Oh, these don't look like they're doing the same thing. Those are just twisting. Huh, that's interesting. Some look like they torque down, others don't. These small ones don't fit in there, huh? Nope. They just don't. Alright, looks like I'm gonna have to get 2 more of those. That sucks. Alright. So that's done. As far as we can go. Use adjustable knobs, H's, to adjust the height. Wait a second, guys. I may not have to because I think, well, that's very, see, another thing they don't put in the damn instructions. Is this thing recording? Yeah, another thing they don't put in the instructions. So the bolts that I was missing are actually right here. Ah, man, it's fucking annoying. Why can't they just put in the instructions that the bolts that you're missing are actually being used to hold the freaking legs on. So you take these off, guys. You take that leg off with the bolt that they gave you. Slip it in with the one of these adjustable ones. And now you take that bolt and you put it in the freaking leg. And now I don't have to go to the hardware store. Like I said, now you don't have to go to the hardware store. You just got to tighten it up. I mean, yes, it's nice that they gave you the bolts. It would be nice had they told you it was there, instead of getting you all worried that I'm missing a few bolts. Do the same thing with the back side here. Get one of those adjustable screws. They give you a boatload of adjustable screws. I don't know if maybe you're supposed to have 2 in each leg. It looks like that way. Right now I'm just going to put 1. Because I don't know how deep it's going to be. Grab one of my my lucky handy dandy washers. Put this one in here. Guys, this gets hot now. I gotta finish this build here shortly. Because I'm boiling. Man, let's grab 2 more of those adjustables. Ow, man, I think I stepped on a piece of glass. Always have shoes on. There's your safety net, guys. As you're working in a garage like this, maybe it's smart to wear shoes instead of being barefoot. But hey, hell in the Florida, we're barefoot 90% of the time. Barefoot or flip-flops. You know, and honestly, working in flip-flops is a lot harder than being barefoot. Probably barefoot about as much as people in Hawaii are barefoot. I know because I used to live, I was born in Hawaii. So, you get to know it, man. I don't know. Hell, I don't even know if my parents bought me shoes in Hawaii. I'm sure they did. But it's definitely a different culture over there. Oh, all right, put this last bolt in. Always an adventure putting things together. Maybe that's why I find it kind of like annoying, but fun at the same time. You get to put stuff together. I mean, that's looking good. Let's put it that way. I watched these, you guys haven't watched them if, some people are big into Dr. Pimple Popper, but there's this YouTube channel out there called Hoof GP, and the guy and his team works on cow hooves, and man, you'd be amazed at like how many hooves you see inside these cows. I'm gonna adjust those later after I figure out the height. Right now what I want to do is put the casters on. So I got 4 casters. I love casters of my workbenches. Pull the plastic sleeve off of it, and let's turn it in here. Okay, great. Not the easiest things to put in. You'd think you'd just be able to. Well, you guys know how to turn it in. I'll pause the video so you don't make this video too long. I'll get all the casters put in. All right? You don't need to wash them. All right, everybody, I got the casters on. Get these last couples in there. Again, he did have the option to use the standalone feet. I decided to use the casters, but it's really up to how you want to use them in your your setup, if you don't plan on rolling it around, which I do, then maybe you don't want casters. Maybe you're happy with the standalone feet. Everybody has their own thing, you know? So, you know your workshop or your garage, you know what you want to do. I find it easier, especially if I'm using a chop saw or something on top of it, just to be able to pull it away from the wall, maybe move it out a little bit further where I'm doing most of the work. And that's it. They definitely give you a lot of extra parts. That always scares me because it makes me think I may have put it in wrong. All right, last step is just to flip it over, see what she looks like. Because of this wood, it is pretty darn heavy. There she is. Got a little scratching on it already. So, if you're building it, I put mine on top of this wood. You may want to put yours on something a little softer because I did get a little shiny scratch on the top of it. But, oh, I got a little one right there too. So, just be careful. The top does scratch, but it is a workshop. It's going to get scratched. So, I like that right at my waist height. So, perfect. Another job done. Thank you for being here today. Well, let's test it while we're here. Let's see if the power works on it. I do have a power switch. That's one thing we want to make sure. Put in some power. Looks like it's getting power, but will it put power to the thing? Let's get a saw on here. A sander. It's easier to carry. Sort of like this bench. I like that you can adjust it up and down if you want. So, master power's on. All right. I don't know. So far, if the instructions was just a tad bit better, let you know about the bolts, I could have put it together probably like 10 minutes faster. But it's easy to assemble. It seems sturdy as anything. Even with these casters, it seems very sturdy. It rolls, the casters roll real nicely. The powers up real nicely. You can adjust the height real easy with those little manual adjustments without having to get a wrench out on that. To me, that's a benefit. It's got 2 on each one, which gives it a lot more stability. So I would give this a really high rating. I highly recommend this if you're looking for a workbench that kind of rolls around and does this kind of mobile application. Actually has a plug. Although if you're going to roll it any further and you're going to use that plug option, make sure you get an extension cord attached to the wall so as you pull it away, it retracts out. So with that, thank you again for joining us again on Make It Rain Ranch. Look forward to seeing you guys again real soon with another project. Bye.